80-year-old veteran Carl was being pursued by two fighter jets. Although he managed to escape before the warehouse exploded, the enemy's attacks didn't stop and bullets rained down on the truck. Carl quickly drove into the forest, using the thick vegetation to block the pilot's line of sight. However, the enemy planes still wouldn't give up. One of the fighter jets rapidly descended in altitude, entered the forest, and opened fire on Carl fiercely. Carl precisely calculated the distance through the rearview mirror, slammed on the brakes, and the plane crashed into the back of the truck. And the pilot was killed. Carl carefully peeked out and looked around, but he couldn't find the other fighter jet anywhere, so he decided to move on and drive out of the forest. When he was approaching a safe area, he stopped the truck again, opened the door halfway, and cautiously observed the surroundings. After confirming there was no danger, he continued driving, but he didn't realize that the other fighter jet had been following him, using the cover of the cliff. Suddenly, the fighter jet accelerated into the air, turned around, and aimed at Carl once more. The pilot was determined to succeed, but soon ran out of ammunition. Unexpectedly, the pilot directly steered the fighter jet towards Carl's truck and ejected from the seat just before the impact. Carl reacted calmly, quickly cut the ropes, and used the brakes to form a slope with the lumber, which sent the plane flying. After the plane was destroyed, Carl walked slowly to the front of the truck, ready to pick up the fallen building materials. Just then, the pilot who had just landed started shooting at him. Although the shots missed, it enraged Carl. He walked towards the pilot, ready to retaliate. However, the pilot gave a strange smile. Carl turned around alertly and saw another fighter jet approaching in the distance. Carl rushed back to the truck, loaded the lumber, and then drove away. The fighter jet was extremely fast and closely followed, with dozens of bombs exploding behind the truck. Carl swerved the steering wheel violently and headed towards the sea. After the truck fell into the water, Carl managed to escape from the vehicle, but he couldn't bear to see the lumber he had painstakingly transported sink into the sea. So he swam back, untied the ropes binding the lumber, and brought the lumber out of the water together. His little companion also survived, and the two of them leaned on each other, having survived the ordeal. Carl gathered the lumber and let it float downstream. Soon they came to an abandoned battlefield, where World War II-era weapons and ammunition were scattered on the ground. Here, it was finally Carl's turn to fight back.